G'day, Kevin Hillier and Steve Thom here with a look at a big weekend of finals in the Western Region Footy League. 2 grand finals to talk about and a prelim final for Division 1, Tomsy. Let's get stuck in that Division 3 grand final. As we mentioned, the 2 best teams in the competition are playing off for it.
Yeah, look, Parkside, Albanvale, the two strong sides too. Both of them are very physical. They've got some big bodies, they've got some mobile forwards, they've got some goal kickers, but midfields that can get a lot of possessions. Obviously, Kelly is going to be one of the keys up forward for Parkside. Johnny Sirianni, I don't think he'll get the ton this week, but he's not far. He's into the 90s, I think, or close enough to that. He might if they have a big win. But, he's another big target that Albanvale have got. Cuthbertson for Albanvale. He'd want to set the scene as captain. Yep. He leads, great captain. He leads from the front for his team down there at Albanvale. The same with the Parkside scenario. They've had a taste of experience quite a bit over the last 4 or 5 years. When we think of it, a lot of these guys that are playing in the side, they didn't play in their Division 2 grand final or in grand finals or their premiership last year, played in their reserves. Yeah, so they've had a good taste. A lot of them have grown up together. So they've done a great job to gel back again as a club, and they're going to take it right down to the wire in this game. And I do believe that's going to happen, Kev. I reckon this game will go right down to the very last 5-10 minutes of the game because Albanvale were touched up big time for 3 quarters the other week when they last met, but they come home with a wet sail, and I think that momentum, my personal opinion, will get them over the line this week in a very, very narrow margin in a great game. I
think a low-scoring game too, Tomsy. I think it'll be tight and be physical, and I'm with you, actually. I think Albanvale might get over the top of them. Now, let's have a look at the Division 2 grand final. It's going to be a beauty. Wyndhamvale take on West Footscray.
Yeah, had the wood on them a little bit this year, Wyndhamvale. A couple in the home and away, and again the first final the other week. Look, Wyndhamvale, congratulations first on reaching the grand final, first senior grand final that they've ever made. They'll be relying on their quality key players. I mean, we know Graham, Damjanowski, we know Alice. They can play the game. Benson's one that we haven't heard a lot of Benson, but he plays a role, I think, for Wyndhamvale Falcons. He's a big boy, whether it's across that half-back line or across the half-forward line, unless Hamilton's back there as a big bloke as well for Wyndhamvale. They like to just set the scene back there for their side and give them a little bit of drive. Through the ruck areas, that's going to be a great contest to do with to see with Big Kennedy for West Footscray, who I thought found a bit of touch last Saturday.
Last week.
Yeah, in their win over North Footscray. West Footscray on that topic. I mean, they had some players too. They got the right matchups a little bit last week reasonably well. They had some good running players. Trousdale, I mean, he could set the scene again. Speakman got a lot of football after half-time, which is a good sign for them around that midfield area. As I mentioned, Kennedy.
I reckon the speed's got to go out of the game for Speakman.
It does,
better in the second half.
It does, yeah, he does. He reads the play well. I mean, the big thing for West Footscray, and up to this stage while we're taping this, we don't know whether Al Hurley will be available, and young Hayden Bray, whether he's available, whether they're both back from injuries. If they do, that's going to make a big difference. I was wrapped in the game of Damien Uze last week in the preliminary final, and he kicked 2 or 3, whatever he kicked, but his work off the ball, and to me, this is the most important part about local football. If your forwards are prepared to work hard off the ball and create some pressure, you're a quarter of the way there, and I thought Damien Uze led from the front that way. So if Al Hurley does come back in the lineup, they've got to get the right balance, they've got to get the right matchup, but whoever it is, they've got to work hard. Look, once again, this will be a great game. This will be a brilliant grand finals always are, Kev. Wyndhamvale for me by, once again, a narrow margin. Yep.
I'm with you there too. Now let's look at the Division 1 prelim final. And this rivalry is building beautifully between these teams. It's just getting better and better. Yep. Haven't played a lot against each other at senior level. It all comes from their junior days when they used to belt the living suitcase out of each other. Hoppers and Werribee districts, it'll be a ripper.
It will be a ripper. I mean, the other week, Werribee districts were too physical for Hoppers a couple of weeks ago, Kev. At ground level, their smaller brigade of running players, midfield players up forward, they really hit the contest hard, and they won around the stoppages. They cleared the ball very easily from the stoppages. Hoppers Crossing, they would have learned a lot from that. I think they're a young group. They're a very young group that have played junior finals together and won junior grand finals, a lot of them together. Werribee districts have played a few senior finals together over in the amateurs a couple of years ago. So they would be used to that senior final pressure. I've thought a couple of the Hoppers Crossing
youngsters. In their shell.
They did. Yeah, they did. So that's something, look, Skipper's going to lead from the front again. Werribee districts, they haven't got a key big ruckman. Big Johnson done a great job the other week. You'd expect him to hopefully be competitive again this week against Skipper. Rioza had probably one of those days where it was, I think he might have kicked 1-4 or 1-5 and shanked a few, and just one of those days where probably he regrets that the chance to build back. It's fantastic to make amends for it, and he did last week in the semi-final. But he'll have a big day, I reckon. Mead up forward, I don't think he's going to be held again. Young, all over the ground. Matty Ryan, these are guys that I reckon will start leading from the front a little bit more. And one of the big negatives, I suppose, for Werribee District's no Panay in the side.
Got work commitments, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's really, sadly we don't make a living out of local football. But he left a big hole morale-wise, and he's had other option up forward. Harrington, Molivas, if they're kicking goals, great. But Panay's the one that can kick 3 or 4 in 10 minutes and turn the game very quickly. So they're going to sadly miss him. So someone else has got to take that role. They've got a couple of other smaller, hard-at-it footballs inside the 50. But I think Hoppers Crossing might get revenge from the loss they had the other week, Kev, and progress on to a grand final against Deer Park.
This might be history. I think this might be the first time we've ever agreed on every game.
We have.
There you go. So I think Hoppers will win too. Yeah, another big week of WRFL finals on the way. Enjoy it.